All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. And I have the brother Mufasa on with us this evening. And you know what? I really don't cover a lot of what's going on in the hip hop, rap, I guess, scene, what's going on in that scene. I really don't cover a lot of it. But Nipsey Hussle, unfortunately, just passed away. Um, the reason why I'm affected by his passing is the brother was actually doing good and doing positive in the neighborhood. I'm very familiar with that area. I lived in LA from 2008 to 2014. You know, that Crenshaw Slauson area was part of my territory when I did sales. That was part of my sales territory. So I'm very familiar with that area. In fact, one of my clients used to be in the shopping center across from Nipsey Shopping Center. There was a Wingstop that used to be there. I don't know if the Wingstop's still there, but that was one of my clients. I did a lot of business on that in that area. I used to go to this Lawson swap meet down the street. If you're headed, that would be south on Crenshaw. You make a right on Slauson to head west. That'll take you towards Inglewood. I'm very familiar with that area. So it's just unfortunate that the brothers passed away. Actually, his album Crenshaw, I used to bump that. In fact, Crenshaw, let me say this, Mufasa. I stopped listening to hip hop a long time ago consistently. I will listen to some songs here and there, but Nipsey's album Crenshaw was like the one album.
Nah, that album was bumping. The album went.
That's like the one album that consistently, since it came out, that I would listen to. So, and again, the brother who is doing well, was giving back, like really doing well, giving back to the community. And I'm not talking about trinkets, Mufasa. I'm not talking about, let's give away some toys. And again, I'm not trying to minimalize the way people contribute back to the communities or to the community. I mean, what he was doing as far as building infrastructure.
Yeah, so he's like, not only was he, but firstly, you know what I mean, condolences to his family and everybody, just all of us, you know what I'm saying, because he meant a lot to a lot of us, but he made a big impact as far as music, right? A lot of you may have just started hearing about him, but I'm broadcasting you from San Diego, Cali right now, a couple hours away from LA, and Nipsey Hussle was huge over here.
Yeah.
Years ago, you know what I'm saying? Years ago, and to Dinah's point, not only he wasn't just like, hey, let me come back and give some turkeys. He had a store where he employed people. He had, a lot of people don't know, he had a lot of dispensaries out here that employed people. Mm-hmm. He had a lot of things going on, and most of the people working for him were felons that couldn't get jobs otherwise. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he made sure that he put an emphasis on the fact that, look, I'm giving these folks jobs that can't otherwise get jobs.
Right.
But these are jobs and things that he's given along with charity that I'm sure I can't enumerate all the charity that he gave. But then along with that, he's also, he had a documentary coming out, basically telling the story about Dr. Sebi and everything that went along with that. He, if you followed his channel, he had, back when cryptocurrency was kind of first starting to break, he had meetings and was doing videos to get information out about that. So when you really observe what he was doing, he wasn't just trying to be a guy just coming dropping off a few trinkets. He wanted to acclimate his culture's mind and really do that. Like, so where you can go and see a dude, Nipsey Hussle, dress hip hop, doing all these things, talking about business, talking about cryptocurrency. Like, for instance, the whole industry copied what Nipsey Hussle did when he had people lined up around the block to buy the Crenshaw album that you mentioned before.
For $100, right? Like he for like $100, right?
$100.
Right.
First time this had been done. And if you notice, when you go through, because later, shorter after that, Eminem had his album, other big artists had their albums. Now they're releasing Gold, Deluxe, and all these albums for $100, $200, $300. But they're all copying from something that Nipsey Hussle had came up with. And when you hear him talk about how he came up with it, he came up with it while he was reading. He was reading and he heard an idea about a dude that had a Philly cheesesteak spot in Philly, and he decided to raise the price. Nipsey Hussle collected this information through literature and then applied it business-wise and had it to where multi-billion-dollar companies are now copying something that this brother from Compton came up with, or excuse me, dang, I don't know what part of LA. I'll just say LA.
Crenshaw Slauson.
Crenshaw Slauson,
yeah, I don't know. LA. Yeah, it's
LA.
In fact, it's right down the street from Leimert Park. Like it's about a mile that would be south of Leimert Park. You've been to Leimert Park, so
yeah. I know Slauson and I know Crenshaw.
Yeah.
When you start seeing them signs on the freeway, that's when you get the worst damn traffic. You know you're in the middle of LA when you see that.
Yeah, man. But like I said, it's just unfortunate that, and the brother's only 33. Look, I'm 36 years old, man. I'll be 37 in a couple weeks.
31.
I can't imagine, you know, in fact, we lost what Extition, what's his name? Extiation?
Yeah, XXX Tentacion.
XXX Tentacion. He was only what, like 21?
Yep.
I just can't imagine just wake up one day, 21 years old and be gone.
Yeah, no, it's a trip. I mean, you know, always, anytime when I see someone die like that or whatever, it's just like you didn't wake up thinking that would happen. Your family didn't wake up thinking that would happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's a trip to see that happen. But I just, you know, we didn't, you know, kind of spoke about it. I just want the people to know we didn't just lose some ignorant nigga just got shot in the streets.
Right.
That's not what happened right now. You know what I'm saying? Way more than that just happened right now.
Yeah, and again, it's just not just some, you know, random gang banging rapper that wasn't doing nothing, you know, taking more than giving back, you know, because the reality is a lot of these artists, man, they exploit the community, you know, through their songs, through their platforms in the name of money, but they don't reciprocate and give back. Like Nipsey was definitely giving back. That's why this is just a huge loss, like for the community, for the Black community. This is a huge loss for the Crenshaw Slauson community. Like, because the brother was making a huge impact. It's just
definitely. No, I agree with you 100%. You know, he was making a big impact, and then he just, man, that sucked. That hurts, man. You know, that hurts. It's I don't know, man. It makes me really go to think, because the first thing, it was someone else was lost a while ago. He was doing media. I forget his name. He was filming rappers and things in Chicago when we lost him.
And, you're talking about and I was gonna do a video on that, how the Chicago PD for some reason could put all these resources towards Juicy Smollett, but the brother you're talking about, the journalist, what's his name? Someone help me out. The journalist that got that passed away from that was killed in Chicago. Oh, what's his name? Something Zach TV.
Zach TV, there you go.
Yeah. For some reason, they can't find his killers, but damn it, they put all these resources towards Juicy Smollett.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. And it was another story who I couldn't even begin to tell you the details, but it was a brother he had a shoe store and some things going on in Detroit, and he was killed. And I was just like, it makes me really want to evaluate when you reach a certain level, definitely financially, but like more so just spiritually or just mentally, you reach a certain level, like, is it really worth it as far as being in the hood like that? You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to tell people don't go or whatever the case, but it's just like, dang, man, how many times does this happen? And I don't even know if being in the hood was the source of his killing, but it's something that we had to examine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then one thing too, let's not start with the conspiracy theories. People are already talking about, oh, he was doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi. That's why he got killed. Let's get the facts first before we start with conspiracy theories. It's just, again, the brother was a huge asset to the community, man. It's just unfortunate, you know, especially when a brother's growing, and it hurts, bro. Like, I was telling you this offline. Like I remember when Tupac passed away and was killed. I remember going to school the next day and like girls were crying. Like I wasn't unaffected by the Tupac murder. I wasn't unaffected by the Notorious B.I.G. murder. But for some reason, this Nipsey Hussle murder, like this is really like bothering me. Like it's just
Yeah, to see the thing with me, man, where it hits me, I didn't see it coming. You
mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying? I'm like, of all the ignorant niggas just kind of just on, still on nigga frequency, you see
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? Of all of them,
uh,
Nipsey Hussle gets shot.
uh,
I wasn't prepared for that, you know? And I know that they could, you know, I mean, they got to go on tour. These are dangerous situations, but for him to just be in his hometown at that store, which is a really good stuff. See, if you're involved in entrepreneurship business and you listen to Nipsey Hussle talk, it's not just rapper talk. This dude has real business idea. Like when I listen to things that he said, like for instance, he had his store Marathon. I remember him talking about how he had ideas to where, you know how you buy, he sells clothing in his stores. He could have certain tags and certain like scanning type of bars on there to where you buy his clothes and you can scan those bars on those and get access to
yeah,
documentary content immediately, new song content immediately, to where you buy a piece of clothing or article or something, you buying something at the marathon store, it turns into an experience of something that your
right,
purchase continues to be a purchase. Stuff like this. I didn't hear that from entrepreneur.com. I didn't hear that from the Business Insider. I heard this from listening to the dude whose art I love, but at the same time taking that energy to build people's mental minds. And I'm not, you know, it's not like I needed help of staying off the streets or something like that. I need help as far as bettering myself in business. And he's having that, his sphere of influence was that wide. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, my condolences to his family, friends and family. I guess Lauren London, his I don't know if that's his fiance or his wife. But yeah, we lost a real one today, which leads me to, and we're going to discuss the importance of Black people controlling their own media. I know this is going to be a hard pill for some people to swallow, but in the time and age that we're in now, Black people need to primarily focus on putting out there we have to get away from the entertainment. And what I mean by entertainment, if you notice, all the Black entertainment is just negative savagery. So we need to control our own media and put our images out that are just strictly positive. Because, I mean, again, just the images that are being put out there on us are just negative. I mean, what are your thoughts, Mufasa?
No, I agree with you 100%. I think when we look at our media, we could even compare it to the 60s. There's nothing political really in our media.
All
It's
right.
just a bunch of, it's like when you could go to just the internet and go Google whatever or look up things that are considered Black media are, it's like so ridiculous. It's like something could happen to Cardi B's toenail and it becomes
Right.
the biggest thing on media across like a wide age range. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So when we look at what we consider a news, you can tell that the people that are running the news have no positive political interest for our people. It's blatantly obvious. So once we can realize that, we're going to have to come to the conclusion that it's going to take us building up our own media and coming up with us being the people who make the decisions on what our people consider a viral video, us being the ones who make the decisions on what everybody's going to be sharing on social media today, instead of it being Cardi B this day, then some other foolishness the next day, and something else the other day, right? Because if we examine this, you know, and this is the key problem, and this is not nothing new. It's not going to be a surprise to most of you. Really sit down every single time you take in something that you're going to call Black media. Never
Right.
mind who the actors are on the thing, whether it be Charlemagne the God, whether it be anything. Never mind who's running it. Never mind the face that you see. Just trace the money and see who owns it. Who owns iHeartMedia? You know what I mean? Is the Breakfast Club a black show? You know what I'm saying? Are these things black? Or is this really BET? Is it Viacom? Or is it some black person on top of it? You know what I mean? In most cases, and also let me tell you this too. A lot of people talk about the rappers, right? One thing people never really consider, music videos are media.
Right.
Music, that's media.
Right.
Who owns these companies that distribute and who's in charge of the major labels that
Non-black.
put out Lil Wayne?
Non-black.
See what I'm saying? No one black. Half the check. Kanye West came out and told you. He said Lucian Grange signs all my checks, and he signs most of the checks of most of the people in this industry. Dude running Universal, if I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me. But in the root of who is running, who's the real boss behind the media and the things that you're getting, it's coming down to someone who doesn't give a fuck about your people, or excuse my language, but they don't care about your.
They don't.
You see what I'm saying?
And the thing is, they will never push this same type of media or negative images in their own community.
Right, 100%. Like, I remember a while ago, Young Buck, I think they made him take something off his album because it was talking about killing police. But on the same album, he's sitting up here talking about killing black people all day. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Because in the end of the day, and I get it, because like I said, I have a close family friend who's a record executive. You know what I mean? And we talk about this, and he says that, these people are just trying to make money. These Jews and these companies are just trying to make money. But in the end of the day, there was a time when hip hop was conscious, and they were running that too, right? And he's saying, well, if they were so evil, why did they just get the money off why did they get the money off the conscious stuff? I'm like, yeah, they got the money off the conscious stuff for that time being, but they still wanted to direct it and change things to get to a point where they're dealing with individuals who they're more comfortable with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because make no mistake, it does come down to the money in the end of the day.
All
but
right.
if you are in control, you have the power over the industry, like they have the power over distribution, that a lot of people don't understand. You can shape and control how things happen. I'll give you an example. R. Kelly, right? R. Kelly recently came under all this fire and all these things. And the average person, you would say, hey, what? I don't need the industry, right? I don't need anybody. I can release, we got the internet now, right? We in the new age. We in the free time. We got the internet. I could release however I want. Until you're in the situation R. Kelly is in, everyone's against him, and he has to come out with a way to get his music to people.
Right.
And you say, okay, I can get it to people easy. I just put it on iTunes. No, actually, Apple runs iTunes. That's a company. They have a boardroom, and they can tell you no. I just put it on YouTube. Google runs YouTube. They have a company. They have a boardroom. They can tell you no. And you're going to keep going. You're going to run into white companies with white boardrooms that are going to tell you no because they have the means of distribution, and that's power. The means of distribution of any resource, and music, make no mistake, is a resource that can be sold, a commodity that can be sold. Anyone that has any power over those things, they control the environment. They have influence and control over the environment. So you got to look at that, man. When you really look down to it, what control do you have over this environment? Even though all the music is either black music or done by black musicians.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mufasa, with dealing with Nipsey Hussle and just black people in general in LA or on the West Coast, I just get this feeling, I've been saying this since 2004, that it's a wrap for black people in LA. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Am I being too pessimistic?
Like I said, we kind of talked about this earlier, man, because I live in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of started to have some of those feelings myself, man, because mm-hmm. it's not about, because we're going to get to Blacktivision and a local media company that I did in San Diego.
Yeah.
And the reason I did it, part of the reason, we'll get back to it, but I'm going to give a small part of the reason I did it was because there's a lot of black people here in San Diego that are demoralized because they feel like there's no black people really doing anything. And I was active in the community and saying, look, there are things that are happening. Let me cover them. Let me give them media. Let me put it out there, right? But at the same time that I'm doing this, I'm realizing it's really more, it's mostly like a numbers game, right? A couple numbers. One, the cost of living. My parents don't live here anymore. They moved up to in the Inland Empire area, like an hour or something away from here. I got to take my daughter up there to see them. A lot of my best friends don't live here anymore. One moves in that same area. The other one's in Arizona. Pretty much most of the people I know, in some type of way, they're fragmented from what we were when we were younger. So a lot of people move to San Diego today and they're like, what you mean? There's nothing black in San Diego. There's no community, but they don't know. We used to have all the same black things that people have in other places. We had the Gold Coast Classics. We had the MLK Day Parade. We have all these things, but they're going away. And the demographics in California, and I mean, I'm 12 minutes away from the border. So San Diego, if it's happening in LA, the demographics as far as Hispanics coming in, that's happening in San Diego if it's happening in LA. So, and when I'm looking at the numbers, it's not just LA, it's not just San Diego, it's just California just in general, man. So, I don't know, man. I kind of share your sentiment as far as, I don't know if it's over, but it's like, when you prioritize how you're going to attack an issue, if your goal is black empowerment, California might be the least fertile soil when we just look at demographics and just the cost of living as far as black people. It might be the least fertile soil to deal with, because people say gentrification, and that's an issue. But see, most of these people are like in places where they're just dealing with white folks. You're not understanding that, like, neighborhoods that we called our hoods, even gang members, the hoods that they would bang, they're not even black anymore. It's all Hispanics, and white folks are gentrifying too, but they're not even black anymore. So just from a numbers perspective, man, it's the least fertile soil, to say the least, in my opinion. I say that as a dude who live here, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. The people who are assuming already that Nipsey's murder had to do with Dr. his upcoming documentary on Dr. Sebi, do we have this issue with, I mean, and again, I'm not putting anything past the U.S. government or whoever.
Right.
Sometimes do we just leverage these conspiracy theories a little too much?
I think these people are telling on themselves. So if this is my thing, if you already are saying it's a conspiracy and you don't have anything to suggest that it is, other than just this, like, people call them conspiracy theories, I call it baseless speculation, because that's what you're really doing. I don't like to really say conspiracy theories, because if we just study history and look at the current time, there are actually a lot of conspiracy theories that are true and have been true, right? But it's a difference between putting energy and effort into researching and coming up with a realistic theory. It's a difference between that and just speculating with no basis to your speculation, just for the sake of talking, and being mentally and intellectually lazy. You know what I mean? Because there's a desperate group of people out there who are going to hear you out. And I think in the end of the day, it's coming down to that. It's coming down to, like, attention grabbing, people just being mentally lazy. You know what I mean? And then I think that is a problem that we have, man. That is a problem. And that's also another problem of weak media. Getting back to the topic, that's weak media. If we had media sources out here that were serious, like, for instance, we could say what we say about the United States media, and we should continue to say it. But it's like, you see when people have a certain standard, like, if we see that NBC said something, we know there's some trickery, we know there's some deception going on, but usually there's some type of standard on the facts that they put out. And right. If we had that standard in our community, these dudes wouldn't be able to survive the way that they do, man. But I think in the end of the day, that's what it's coming down to: laziness and just people taking advantage of a desperate situation. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think black people don't find value in black media, and that we find more value in white-owned corporate media?
No, I don't. Okay, so
as a whole,
well, it's hard for me to really evaluate that, because I can't. There's no black media that's on a similar playing field in any kind of way. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Media takes so much capital. Like, how can we really evaluate that? If I can say Fox News is a part of a $20 billion company, or CNBC is owned by Disney, which is, it has 80 billion in assets, and then we're gonna compare that to Search for Uhuru, or not to use you, but just whatever,
Yeah.
100,000 subscribers, you know what I mean? I think if we could get things to a higher point, I think our people would, right? But I'll say this: I don't think our people have any appetite or don't prioritize any level of importance on Black media. I don't think they think it's important. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they think it's important. But I can't say that because, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I was talking to my boy, and he said, I talked about how, you know, when Black folks patronize a Black business, they always trying to hassle and haggle the price down and all that, right? They're like, oh, come on, man, let me get it for this, or let me get it for that. And he pushed back with a good point. He said, bro, think about it. If your business looked completely legitimate, it looked corporate, everything was in order, and it didn't just look like you sitting there, you know, trying to solicit a sale or whatever, it looked like a straight up business,
Mm-hmm.
then they wouldn't ask for that. You see what I mean? If it was on the same level, they wouldn't try to haggle like that.
But let me ask you this: how do we get to the same level if people aren't willing to pay?
That's the problem. Oh, okay. I'll give you this.
Go ahead.
We don't support, if we go apples for apples, we don't support on the same level as other people. We don't.
Oh yeah, of course.
Apples for apples, we don't.
But you know, I'm gonna say this: I'm thinking it's starting to change just a little bit. The mindset is starting to shift a little bit.
It is. I think it's happening at the same time. I feel like we got content creators taking the creation of their media more seriously. You know what I mean? Because that was a big problem in the past. It's like, oh man, these people don't even want to do this, but it's like you're not putting the hard work in. So I think it is. I think it is changing. People are taking it more serious, and people are starting. I'm seeing donations and super chats. I'm seeing people,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and not just here, but just across the board. I'm seeing people saying, "Hey, like the video. Hey, do this." You know, really supporting and really helping. So that's a good thing. But at the same time, we have to get back to why we need these things, why we need our own media. Because in the end of the day, the reason I chose to even pick up a camera and learn how to do media and learn how to do all these things, because I looked around at pretty much every sector, every area of activity or human activity that we were in. In every single one, we were pretty much being dominated, right? Now, if I want to go heads up with Europeans in the auto industry, the barriers to enter in the audio industry are so high, and they have so much capital and have so much control over the means of production, it's damn near impossible to get in it. Now, we could get in it if everybody's mindset was on, look, we're going to focus on capturing this for our people, and we're going to prioritize what helps our people. But that's a big ass if people thought like that, right? And that's pretty much, I use the auto industry example, but across anywhere you look, that's the same thing we need. We need everybody on a certain mentality and understanding that prioritizing race first or being Black first will get you, and being unified will get you to a certain point. So if that's the problem that we have across the board, is people's mentality, what does that leave us as the most important sector that we need to, work on? Things that change people's mentalities, education and media. You see what I'm saying? So I said, let me see what I can do to get into media, because that's gonna lead to us. And that's not to say that everybody needs to just rush to media. I'm just saying that it needs to be prioritized. Like education, it needs to be prioritized with our people, and it can't be acceptable unless it's a Black first Pan-African type of slant to it. You know what I mean? And that's the only way we're gonna crawl up out of this.
Brother, tell everybody about your media platform and what you're doing.
Okay, so out here in San Diego, I started a platform. It's called Blacktivision. As I said earlier, I was doing things around the community. There were Black folks doing things. There was things going on. But every time I ran, because I was in Texas for college, and I was working there for a bit, and I moved back to San Diego. I'm here because I have my daughter here, and I'm not with her mother. Otherwise, there's no other way I would be here. but I'm here for that. And when I came back, I just realized, you know, not only had things changed a lot, but a lot of people didn't realize that there was anything going on Black anymore. And they would just complain and they were really demoralized. So I said, let me pick up a camera, learn how to use it, because I had no background in media. And a lot of people, they look at like the content, they're like, man, you didn't know any of this? You just learned all of this? You know, I'm like, yeah, yeah, I literally picked this up and learned this just for the purpose of doing Black media, you know?
You got way more skills than me. I just bought an expensive camera and was like, I just let the camera do the work, and I just press record and the shutter button.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's no, it was a trip because I found it and I really I ended up really liking it. You know what I mean? It had a knack for it, and then, you know, I just ended up doing other things. People asked me to do things, and I really just got a big interest in it, to where it's like I could, you know, I'm in Hollywood and different places talking to people who do different things, and I can like really talk with these people as a self-taught videographer on a lot of different levels, you know what I mean, just from the passion of it, right? But back to the point, so I did this, and I just started going to different events that people were doing, things that were Black focused events. I did some interviews, like for instance, like I told you earlier, I interviewed that we had a sister running for district attorney. I decided to interview her. I asked her, okay, why should Black folks care about you running?
What was her response?
Well, she basically was talking about, and it's so many videos so long ago. I don't want to misquote her because I'm actually still quote her, but it was something along the lines of the jail rate. Like for instance, we had a racist lady out here named Bonnie Dumanis they were basically rounding up. What they do now, because there's less crimes being committed, they're rounding up. There was an indictment they did, right? There was a brother that did a murder in 1994.
Are you serious?
Okay? 1994, right? They attached that to an indictment for some pimping and pandering cases that happened way in 2008, 2007. They attached that, and some all the way up to like the 2013, 12. They took a 94 murder, and then they took one dude that out of these so-called pimps that are all working together. They took that guy, and then they took one dude that was dealing with minors, put them all into an indictment, round up 40 people, and they headline it with the murder, and then they headline it with the minors. And then they take all the other people and they charge them all as one thing. You see? So they're continuing to do this. And there was a federal case, I don't know if you've seen it, where a brother that he got charged for his rap lyrics.
Oh, yeah, can you go? Whatever happened to that brother?
No, he's out. So they
he got out? Okay.
Yeah, they got out of jail. He got out of jail. That was a big thing. It was a justice for SD 33 case. Actually I was a part of like the advocacy and the things on that. And it's a trip because going back, so one of the brothers that was involved with that, I was actually living with his family, you know what I mean? Because I was going through it myself at the time. And his family actually took me in. So yeah, I was out and they found out because while I was struggling, I was actually like living out of my car for a bit. And while I was doing that, I was still out doing work with them. And we were helping out people, victims of this SD33 case, and doing things like that. And they figured out about my situation. I wasn't telling anyone, and took me in. So yeah, it's a trip. You know, we like to talk about the negative and with Black folks, and we ain't shit and we ain't this and that, but it's a lot of positive stuff that still does happen, and you know, nobody ever talks about it. You know what I mean?
Brother, okay, so let's deal with hip hop music right now and rap. So the brother who was arrested for his lyrics, what were they basing that off of? Like what? Like
okay, so yeah, so there was a thing. It's called Penal Code 182.5. Was a law that they dusted off. Bonnie Dumanis, the district attorney, dusted off, and an old law that said that they could basically charge everybody in a gang on the same level, right? And they said, okay, look, based on the fact that they're all part of the gang, and they said, okay, listen, we have this rapper, he's a part of this gang, he's rapping, so we are going to charge him in this indictment that includes murders even though we know for sure, and they even said it in court. They said, the judge said, I know he didn't commit any murders. I'm fully aware of that. That's not why he's here. So they're locking this brother up and associating with murders based on rap lyrics, saying that he's furthering the gang. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that was that they use Penal Code 182.5 to
That's a radio station. God damn, 182.
Yep. No, Penal Code is a Penal Code.
Right. I'm just saying.
Law. Yeah. So yeah, that's how they did it. And,
so let me ask you this: why won't brothers just get away from this negative hip hop? Like, why can't they just give it up?
I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. I think at this point, if it's not really reflecting the is so many other things going on. It's not like the 80s, you know what I mean, where everybody's selling crack and shooting all day. It ain't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why is it still going on, especially out here, There's still things going on, but I think we should look toward other things, you know what I mean? But I will not to make excuses, but you do have to look at what you see in the mainstream, what's making it in the mainstream, and what people are breaking through with. That's going to incentivize people to say, okay, look, if these dudes made it, this is just some dudes off the street and they made it and they talking ignorant stuff, then we're going to talk ignorant stuff. You know what I mean? That's kind of how people think. But, I don't know. I think we need to get out of it, though. I think we do. We need to just get out of that. We don't have to rap about the negative stuff, man. You know what I mean?
I'm reading, who Derek Grace is?
Derek Grace? No.
Yes. Do you know who he is?
No, I haven't heard of him.
He's the guy with all the tattoos that was teaching his kids how to shoot guns, like how to.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just posted, worked all these years and finally was able to collaborate with my hero, Nipsey Hussle. The secret for April 2nd was he was coming to Tampa to headline the Unlearn and Relearn Festival and cut the ribbon for my academy. I hate this culture with every bone in me. When are Black people going to get fed up and just hate the fucking culture? Like, when are we going to reject the culture? This bullshit culture.
That's a good question. The saddest part. So this is what I like to do when you do these things. I like to look at it's like, if we really broke it down, right, and put a chart, what percentage of Black people really support that stuff?
You have a point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
I'd be like, because like what happens, like, for instance, there'll be, I was debating with somebody about, remember that whole boycott Gucci thing?
Yeah.
And then it was a brother coming, I don't say no name, but he was just like, yeah, and this is why I'm embarrassed by my people because they want to boycott Gucci. And this is how stupid Black people are. And I'm like, brother, wait a minute. Most of Black folks that I talk to, like I go to my dad's house, they just chilling, feeding his daughter, taking care of the life. And most people ain't even thinking about this stuff or passionate about boycott Gucci. But this is some people on so-called Black Twitter. But again, on the chart, what percentage of Black people is this? So it makes me really think, how many of us are supporting it? But let's say it's a small portion. That doesn't really answer your question because the real question is, when are we going to get fed up with it and get rid of it? You know what I'm saying? And in the end of the day, man, I don't know because it's so many people making money off of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, do you want to go up against those people? Do you really want to do that? Like, do you want to go against that wave? I don't know.
And what's crazy about the Nipsey Hussle situation, I think it's probably someone that knew him. That's usually how it always goes down, man, in this game. Like, it's always someone that knows you who snitches on you or murks you.
Yeah. Hatred, man. Hatred is a real, it's probably some type of hatred, man. Like I said, that's what it comes down to. And that seems like people kind of underestimate that term, but hatred could really make people do some crazy stuff and make them kill you, to make you, just people will do some things. So yeah, it probably was someone close to him. It probably was someone close to him, but end of the day, we don't really know.
Man, like I said, this one right here, man, this one really hurts, bro. Like, I mean, because the brother was just doing. So Mufasa, I know we kind of talked about this. Should this idea of, and I could be critical a lot too in regards to entertainers, rappers, athletes who make money in the hood but don't come back and contribute. Is can they leverage Nipsey Hussle as an example of why they don't come back now?
I think so. I think so. And honestly, that was one of the first questions that I asked myself. I'm like, damn, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Like when you're doing things, you reach a certain level, is it really worth it to come back? You know, or be more strategic about how we come back and doing these different things, because yeah, I mean, you keeping it real, it's a respectable thing. But at the end of the day, you put yourself in so much danger, you know? And I don't want to say it's because he's doing the things, because you don't necessarily have to be there for everything that you're doing. A lot of things I mentioned earlier, it wasn't because he went, you know, but it's like, yeah, you add something extra if you go, and we have our pride, and yeah, I can go anywhere I want to go, but I don't know if it's worth it. And I think they can make that point, but I don't think that point means that you can't do things, because you could send other people to do them for you. You know what I mean? You can be there, or you can make you know, you can come less frequently. You know, you could do things like that. You don't always have to come, but it doesn't mean you don't have to help. It doesn't mean you don't have to do things in the community. It doesn't mean that. But it does make an argument as far as, you know, where you want. Is it worth being there? Is it worth it? Should you move out the hood? Should you go to a safer environment, or somewhere that's more quiet and better to live? You know.
Well, you know, that Crenshaw area is being gentrified anyway.
That's
So
true too. That's true too.
it's just a lot to tackle, man. Like out of all people.
No, that's true. It is being gentrified, but you know, in the end of the day, it's a lot of people. You know, you're still very accessible doing that. You know, especially when people are familiar with you being there, and you know, you add a level of accessibility, and you're kind of close to the wrong folks, man. And you know, I don't know. It's tough, because at the same time, are you supposed to not, like, say I'm doing business with some people, or I'm doing some business with some, am I supposed to be like scared to go there, or not necessarily scared? Am I not going to go there? Am I not ever going to show up there? You know what I mean? So I can understand him doing that, but to me, it don't seem to be worth it. It don't seem to be worth it. But it goes to another point though, right? Let me say this, right, relating it to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm critical in not necessarily, I'm critical, and I wonder why so many Africans, right, as soon as they get wealthy, the whole goal is always to get to a Western nation.
Europe,
I want to
England,
get to
America.
Europe, America, send my kids and get out and get there. And I'm like, if we continue to do that, how are you ever going to fix Africa? But if we're going to say what we're saying here, or what I'm saying in a way is like, look, let's just move out of the hood, and you know, you got to do it because you reach a certain level. Couldn't they say the same thing in Africa? Like, well, hey, I want to get to a better spot, or a more safe location or something, so I'm gonna go to America. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm going to the West to get away from that.
Shout out to Drew Money, Treasure Andrew. Africa's great, man. You gotta come. You gotta come visit. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Nipsey Hussle was Eritrean, by the way.
yeah, he's Eritrean, yeah.
Yeah, he was Eritrean. If you look it up too, look up. He did a video about his experience, where I think someone asked him. He talked about his experience in Eritrea, and how it changed his view on women. When he seen how the women treated everyone in Eritrea, it was different than what he experienced growing up in LA. So yeah, that's that. He did. I seen somebody say that in the comments. Shout out to Ashley Stringfield.
Shout out to Shut In Sessions. Dynasty, you have a great platform. Thank you, brother. If you could spread the word and share it, it'd be great.
Like the video.
Yeah, there you go. Like everyone, like the video as you come in. If you think this platform is great, just like the video. Super chat if you can as well. Super chat as well. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I said, guys, I used to up and down Crenshaw all the time. I used to eat at Crenshaw Fish Market. I used to go to the mall. Baldwin Hills Mall, whatever the name of it is now. Shoot, that in fact, it's black owned. That the wing spot right there off of Crenshaw and the street on the side of the mall. I can't think of the name of the street. I forgot the name of it, but it's black owned. That it's a Buffalo Wild Wings. What's the name of the spot? I don't know, but Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo spot.
Buffalo Wild Wings. I the black owned. I used to eat there. Across the street's a little soul food restaurant. I used to eat there. Down the street, I used to hang out at Lamert Park.
Crazy at Lamert Park, man. That's where they holding it down still.
Yeah.
I was just up there not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that area. Like I said, that was my territory when I did sell.
Well, you know what? Let me bring this up too, man, because that's another thing. Now, Nipsey Hussle made a lot of changes, but again, as a person, like I told you, Bullets with No Names Volume 1, Bullets with No Names Volume 2 and 3, when he was still on the ignorant stuff. Them is still some of my favorite CDs, I ain't gonna lie. But we do got to talk about the we glorify all the gang and all the Crip cuz and whatever the case. But you never know the kind of karma that you're building up, man, when you live in these things. You know what I'm saying? You never really know. I'm not blaming whatever. I'm just saying you never know the karma that you're building up when you live in these lifestyles and engaging in these things. And, you never know what's coming back to you, the people you're associating yourself with. It's cute to run around and, talking all this gang stuff and the respect that you get from, your reputation and because we do that a lot too. It's like it's like people don't want to hear what you got to say until they figure out you're like a reformed crack dealer or some type of reformed gang member. You know what I mean? You get a level of respect because of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's all cool and fun, but that shit has consequences too. And we got to look at that too. And I don't know what happened with this situation, but I'm just saying, it's still these things make a difference.
You see that Doolins on Crenshaw? Yeah, man, Crenshaw used to be low key. I used to get my hair cut on Crenshaw.
Crenshaw is black, man. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Going up there, it's a lot of black folks over there, man. Still to this day, even though things being gentrified, but I do like to go up there.
I used to primarily get my hair cut on by Chuck Taylor, the best barbershop in Cali, next to my cousins in Sacramento. I used to get my hair cut there. That was my number one spot. But if he was too crowded, if I couldn't get to Inglewood, I would just go get a cheap cut on Crenshaw, because Crenshaw was the only place in LA where you still get like a $20 cut in LA. Because everywhere else in LA, man, they was charging like $40-50 for a cut, and the cuts used to be terrible.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They got Mexicans in doing the cuts nowadays, man.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Like out here, especially, like it's like Mexicans. People's getting their haircuts by Mexicans in black barbershops. I don't go to barbershops, but what I mean, I just be seeing this stuff. It's crazy. I seen a viral video a minute ago with it was like an Asian. Did you see that one?
I saw that when the Asians were doing the haircuts. Yeah, I saw that.
But
the thing is, they were doing it like $10 for the cut. It was crazy,
right? And then, but not only that, right? Not only that, I mean, a brother did a video a while ago. He just talked about how he goes in the black ones. First of all, dudes don't be making their appointment times. And, when they get in there and they're sitting there talking so long, wasting time and doing all these different things. And he was like, bro, I just I just had to cut it myself. And then the same dude, when that video had came out, he was like, man, I understand why, because a lot of black barbers be too unprofessional and doing things like that. But at the same time, too, if somebody's charging $10, you got to look at these different things, man. These people out here trying to get it, they're going to undercut you every chance they get. They don't give a crap. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, how are they able to undercut you and then also remain profitable?
I know, but that's a good point. I don't even know, man. I don't know. How could you do a $10 haircut? I don't know for sure if it was 10. Right. I'm going with what you're saying.
No. But they were saying the cuts were like $10-15. But I'm just thinking, expensive, booth rent, inflation. Like, that's crazy.
Nah, that don't sound right. But see, at the same time, you never know. Like you're saying, booth rent and these things, these people have been working together so long. Who knows what their situation is relative as far as the ownership of the building. How much booth rent are they paying? Is that why they're able to get over? Because they all working together and they own multiple parts of the strip mall and the building. Is that why they're able to do it? You know, because some of these people, man, you know, some of these groups of people, like these Arabs, these Chaldeans, these Asians and stuff, these people are working together. They doing group economics for real, you know, and they owning some of these things and they working with each other. So maybe if your booth rent ain't so high because you own the spot, you can undercut people. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just speculating, but that's you know, maybe that's how. He selling out what, a war? Yeah, nah, man. Nipsey Hussle, man. I don't know. I want to look more into that his trip to Eritrea, man. I wonder how that
Yeah, I really didn't follow it, but I really
said,
didn't. But
he said, I don't care if the cuts are $5. If my barber ain't black, I'll grow a big fro.
yeah, I got it's just something about going to a black barbershop, bro. That's like the last thing we got as far as culture, man, here in America. The barbershop and like the HBCUs.
No, that's true. I got, like I said, I haven't touched my hair in nearly 4 years. I haven't, you know, I just got natural, just locks. I just let them grow. But even when I go into a barbershop, like I went up there, my pops was there. I went to give him something. I'm sitting in there just talking because, man, that's a cultural spot for us, man. You know, we get to actually sit in there and talk and build, and you know, black men can talk about things they can't talk in other places. You know, I couldn't imagine getting my hair cut from a dude of another race. I couldn't really see that. Even like, so, like I used to live, I played football, you know what I'm saying? In college, I played at the University of Texas at El Paso. Um, and when I was there, that place is like 99% Mexican. And I would just get my hair cut from like a dude cutting hair, one of the homies or something. You see what I'm saying? I'm not about to go to no damn Mexican barbershop.
Oh, and also and they said the soul food restaurants. A lot of the soul food restaurants now are owned by Koreans and Hispanics.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
they got the chicken spots.
Yeah.
I know the Asians got the chicken spots. I've never seen a non-black owned
They,
whatever.
they got a couple out here in Atlanta.
Who, the Asians?
Yeah, soul food.
See, I know they got the like I said, they got the chicken spots. They got like most of the workers up in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is like Hispanics. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and then you remember the discrimination lawsuit.
Hey, shout out to my sister
Who?
Mbuva, my Tanzanian sister who I was telling you about earlier. She just
Is she in the chat? She in the
yeah.
chat? Where she at? Where she at? I don't see her.
Mbuva Mbore. I don't know how to say her last name.
Okay.
She just put at Blacktivision. I was telling her because you know, I was telling her about the thing, and y'all can check the stuff out. Go to facebook.com/Blacktivision. If y'all want to check out, it's on Facebook because the majority of the political action and the people in the know, like I said, you've always been politically active, so you know how it kind of works. The people who, like, you go to events, you kind of see the same people. Everybody knows who's the, you know, certain individuals, and most of the things we did were on Facebook. And that was just where a lot of people were getting organized. So people were like, oh, you don't have your YouTube? I was like, man, I was so locally focused and I wanted to roll out the YouTube when the time was right, you know. But we were talking about Blacktivision. I've been on like somewhat of a hiatus due largely to just reconsidering the angle I wanted to take because of some of the issues with what is the real future in San Diego, not only for black folks, but if it's not a future for black folks, it's not going to be a future for me because my whole life is tied into this black liberation struggle. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't see any use in what I'm doing, I have to not just reevaluate the platform, but reevaluate my life. And my sister Mbuva, and I told her, I was like, man, we might have to get Mbuva on to kind of say what she said because she literally called me and she was just like, where has Blacktivision been at? And she was on, I had her on the platform. There's a independent black school, the only independent black school in San Diego. She's a teacher at it. You know, this is a sister from Tanzania. She's a teacher at, or was a teacher at Beta Salam. I'm not sure the status right now, but at Beta Salam Academy. And they, one of the videos they had a fundraiser, and I had let her and the owner of it speak out, and just supported them, and just had put a video together of them speaking, so we could just support and have some people donate to the independent school. It's the only one we got, so you know what I mean. That's the kind of stuff that I had Blacktivision for. You know what I mean? And she was on the platform.
Yeah, brother. Well, shout out to Gregory White. Thank you, brother, for the support, man. And everyone, just thank you. People who are supporting me, who have supported Mufasa, you specifically, brother. I just can't thank you guys enough, man. It really means a lot. People who join the chat, people who super chat, brothers like you, Mufasa, who, who are selfless, who, I reached out needing help in regards to some lost data. And here comes Mufasa to the rescue, man. And not, brother, you always have a home on this platform, whenever.
Oh man, no man. Like I said, this is what I do, and then it's the same thing, and it really is really same to you. Like I said, we're what I mean. It's about you're helping a movement that I'm a part of. You know what I mean? Even though when people want to say, "Oh, what's the movement? What's whatever?" We know what it is. We fighting for liberation. We want to be free. We want to be independent, and you're fighting for that. As long as you fighting for that, I'm your brother. Whatever you need, you know what I'm saying. You come out, and the same thing for other folks, man. Reach out to Blacktivision. Reach out to Mufasa Shabazz if you come to Cali and you need something recorded and it's dealing with our people, dealing with this struggle. I'll help you out. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. That's part of what I have these cameras for. Is so we could get, we could do our best media. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to what's her name, name drop Dr. Mummy. Shout out to her. She came out, helped her film. You know what I'm saying? She came out, her, Riza Islam, a bunch of stuff. We brought her to Leimert Park. And then the same goes for anyone. If you ever here and you need somewhere to stay in San Diego, you need someone to film and you in Cali, or you need someone to film, and you're going somewhere else, you can always hit me up. Anybody can hit me up,
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Last question, man. I mean, again, didn't want to shift the subject, but I mean, this Nipsey Hussle situation, like, it's really bothering me. What's the future of Black people in LA since you're down that way? Like, what's the future?
Future for LA?
In regards to Black people? Because I mean, I used to do a lot of outreach work on Skid Row. It's nothing but us out there, man.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh God, bro, you gotta go, man. Highest homeless population in America, damn near 60%, 70% Black. They say the Black population in LA has shrunk to about 6%.
I seen that.
But damn it, if you go to the courthouse downtown on Hill Street, for some reason, it's nothing but us. And it is. Hold on, let me. Somebody calling me now? Yeah, but if you go to the courthouse on Hill Street, it's nothing but us around that courthouse. And literally, that line is wrapped around the courthouse.
Wow. Yeah, nah, man. I don't want to. I don't know. I'll speak in general. I don't want to speak specifically on LA because I ain't there, and I'm not tapped in enough to really measure what's going on there. But the trend I kind of see in Cali, I got my boy Barry Axe. He's up in Sacramento, so I chop it up with him.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, you're from Sac. I don't know if you know Barry. He from Jersey though. But
Okay.
I go up there. I went up there. I actually, man, I filmed. I didn't get it out, but I went up there and filmed some stuff with him on when they killed the brother Stephon Clark. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I flew up there. And filmed
Stephon, he's from my same neighborhood, Stephon Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. See, but yeah, so I just don't see much really because it's being absorbed politically by like everything's kind of black and brown. Everything is just their numbers are too large, and I don't know about now. I know I've heard a lot of folks in LA are moving to like Riverside and kind of
desert. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what it's like for me. I'm kind of thinking things are gonna really happen more so where our people are landing because Riverside isn't far from the Inland Empire. It's right south of Riverside. So our people down here in San Diego is landing in the Inland Empire, The ones that aren't going to Atlanta, the Inland Empire, which is Marietta, Temecula, Moreno Valley, the desert, and they're going to Arizona, Atlanta, and then the people in LA is just kind of scurrying east as well into Riverside, Moreno Valley, the desert. So I don't know. I think we're going to continue to be moved out of there because the reality of LA is just overpopulated, man. There's no way around it. For instance, when I did earlier, like one of the interviews on Blacktivision, I interviewed a brother that was running for the county board of supervisors. And I talked to him because we have basically a housing shortage in San Diego. And it's causing rent to continue to go up. And, you know, I know a lot of my people are concerned about their rent going up, me being one of them. So I asked the brother about it, you know what I mean? Because he was going to be in a position that impacted that. And his whole thing was the reality of San Diego is they just cannot build enough to change the supply and demand curve in time that your rent is not just going to continue to go up. And there was a state bill, and I asked another brother that I interviewed about voting on the platform, you know, not to plug it, but just to show you that these are kind of things I'm asking.
No. Plug your platform. That's why you're here. Plug your platform.
Well, it's not to plug it, you know, it's just, I'm just saying, I'm trying to let people know these are the kind of things that I'm asking, you know, and if you want to do local media around your thing, these are kind of things, you know, to ask related to Black people. What's going on? You know what I mean? Because these are questions every day Black folks are worried about. Damn, my rent's going up. What do I do? You running for office, you want me to vote for you. How do you impact that? So, but his whole thing, there was a bill on that said that it basically said that cities can change or they can imply some level of rent control. But his point was the truth was that really is just it's just like it's like smoke and mirrors, because the truth is the supply and demand is going to dictate the prices. They're not going to be able to stop pricing. Rent control is not going to be able to stop it. You see what I mean? And that was a state bill. Now we relate that state bill and, you know, and that brother's opinion on it to the situation I know personally in San Diego. I'm seeing this is probably a state issue as far as the supply and demand and the pricing and like prime real estate in overpopulated places like San Diego, like LA. So I see more and more people going out of LA, you know, and I would advise people to move out of there. Now, a lot of people here is comfortable here. San Diego, we probably got some of the best weather in the world.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Probably got some of the best weather in the world. LA ain't far behind. So some people, they just like whatever. But to me, I just think if you can, and if you're for Black liberation and things like that, it would do us the best to just move to places where we have more power in numbers, you know. And this may be another video, but we probably need to be moving like outside of this country. You know what I mean? Along that same thing, we probably need to be moving outside this country. But that's the future I see for Black people in Cali, man. I think we're gonna continue to move out, and I only see our traditions and you know, some of our Black traditions, they're just going away, man. We had so many things when I was a kid. You mean we used to have the Gold Coast Classics. Did they bring them up there in Sacramento? Where they come and they do the Black colleges would play a game and they do the bands.
No, they didn't do
the Black dance.
No. They probably went to the Bay. They probably skipped Sacramento and went to the Bay Area.
Okay. No, yeah, they used to come because we had the Chargers out here. So they would come play at Qualcomm. But we used to have that, like all our Black schools. They used to do the Black high schools would do the drumming and the horns, and you know what I mean, the dancing. We had all that. People think we didn't have anything in San Diego, bro. It's not true. We had that stuff. We had the parades. We had all these things. Now the problem with Cali is our people in Cali are, you know, Black folks. We're really real tribal out here, man. It's real. The gang problem is a big deal, so it had us real divided. But we still did have a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, brother, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Anything you want to share in closing, and also let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you go to facebook.com/Blacktivision. And that's where you can check out all my content. I also have a YouTube page. If you just type in Blacktivision, and it's a lot of people think I'm saying Black Division. It's Black T-I Vision. So Blacktivision. you can follow my YouTube page. I have around 100 videos, and this is not like just videos of me push and play and just talking. These are videos that it took me hours to edit, film, and do. And I put consideration into the viewer, and they're all locally relevant to what we're doing in San Diego. But my goal is not only to move. I just I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with my 10-year-old daughter. I don't want to leave, but my goal is to move and or kind of travel and make Blacktivision a more global thing. So you can subscribe to my Blacktivision YouTube channel, and more content will be coming to that soon. Right now, there's not much on there. I think maybe I may have put. We rented out 2 theaters, or not we, but some sisters out here. We rented out 2 theaters, and for the Black Panther showing, we had a 100% Black Panther showing. I think I may have put that one on there. And then there's a brother that has a book, Black author, brother Khalif Price out here. He has a book called Masai Boy. I don't know if you know about the Masai people, or if I'm saying it right.
No,
Masai people, I think they're in Kenya.
Yeah, Masai. Yeah.
Masai.
Hell yeah. I got video with them. I stayed
Okay, see?
when I was a kid. Yeah.
So he was out there with them too. And he wrote a book. He wrote a child book called Masai Boy. He has an interview on my channel. I think that's the content that's there, but it's just a few videos. But if you subscribe and be ready, when I drop more videos and I drop more content, as I start to release that content, you'll be the first ones to see it.
Well,
yeah, that's it, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Guys, make sure you go to shout out to Hole Up in the chat room as well. Make sure you guys go to Blacktivision and sign up and subscribe and support this brother Mufasa, man. We really got to work together.
Oh man, shout out to my BAIO brother, brother Hole Up.
Oh yeah, Hole Up's in the house. Hole Up's in the house.
Yeah. So I'm BAIO too, man. Shout out to that Land Infrastructure Nationhood. I don't know how I didn't drop it, you know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to the BAIO, the Black African Infrastructure Organization too, man. And so subscribe to the YouTube for what's to come. But if you want to check out, like I said, I got nearly 100 videos, things we're doing out here in San Diego. They're all Black, they're all relevant, you can check those out at facebook.com/Blacktivision, Blacktivision.com.
Guys, make sure you guys go sign up, everyone. In fact, right now, I want everybody to go subscribe to his page, Brother Mufasa's page. Right now. So we're going to stay on here another minute, and I want everybody to make sure you go and subscribe to the brother's page so we get him some more, so we can grow his platform. Yeah, so we'll chill here for like another minute.
Oh yeah. Big shout out to brother Hole Up though, man. But yeah, okay. I'm looking on. He posted a link, so I'm looking. So I had six sisters get together, and I think I told you that's the one we got 6 natural Black naturalistas on why they began their hair journey. So there's part 1 on there. I got 6 more parts. We dealt with like the change in the city and how they were treated when they go into these other businesses. And I have an Ethiopian sister on the platform. She talked about her upbringing, how like for her, because a lot of us is like, we feel like, okay, they came up on the weaves and these things, right? But I had an elder sister on the thing. She's from, I believe, Detroit. And she was like, you know what? You asked me this question. I realized, she's like, man, when I was coming up, I didn't see that. I didn't see, she was like, people were natural around me because I was coming up under that kind of Black power time. That's the adults I was looking at. And then I had another Ethiopian sister was saying that her family, they didn't wear weaves at all. And she picked it up from the influences that she was seeing. And then the rest of the sisters, it was just a really diverse platform of Black women talking about their hair experiences and, how they reached to the point where they decided they were going to wear natural hair. And the part 1 and part 2 are up at facebook.com/Blacktivision. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, I'm going to put the rest of the parts up. but that was part of what I wanted to, you know, when I release things on YouTube. I know those are kind of, though that's not as local, even though the whole point of the video was to promote those same sisters, or part of the sisters in that panel had a natural hair event that they were doing, a Black natural hair event that they were doing in San Diego. So that was the whole reason of putting it on the page. But it's still a general discussion that anyone can enjoy. So I was like, okay, when I really roll out the YouTube, I'm gonna make sure I use that. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I just hope I'm hoping the brother Nipsey had everything in line too, as far as, you know, contingency plans and, you know, who.
Yeah, me too. I mean, who would think that? You said he's 33?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not walking around thinking I'm about to die, man. And it could happen, but damn, bro.
Anyways, guys, let's RP, rest in power to Nipsey Hussle. Guys, make sure you go to Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, Search for Uhuru, Brother Mufasa. Peace.
Peace.